Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Utah Beer News for the latest in our one-on-one conversations with local brewers, breweries, and everyday imbibers. I'm Tim Herron, founder of Utah Beer News, and today we are talking to Rob Phillips and Chris Haas of Roja Brewing Project. Welcome, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going
Pretty
out
good.
there?
It's pretty good. And now I'm trying a couple new things here, and I really appreciate, as always, you guys kind of helping me out being a guinea pig on technology and whatnot. So um, we'll give this a shot. So I've visited Roja a few times in the last year to pick up beer to go and visited you guys in the tap room, but I know a lot of things are still up in the air, a little bit out of the ordinary. Can you guys just give us an update on key things beer drinkers should know about Roja in March 2021, like taproom situation, hours? You've got a
Sure,
patio now. Maybe just give a high level view of what's going on at Roja.
sure. So a lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the same too. So we're still offering curbside pickup for those people that don't feel comfortable getting out of their car or coming inside. We have opened our tap room with some limited seating, trying to keep people distanced and safe that way. And then we still have our patio open outside as well. So if you have a hearty soul on a cold day, you can enjoy a beer outside as well. We're open Monday through Saturday, 12 to 8. Try and keep that consistent, and so we're also always rotating beers here in the tap room. So I think that's a great reason to get out and check it out. So.
Yeah, for sure. And I know there's some activity at the tap room right now. Maybe we'll jump right into that. You've got a beer release today as we record this, and you're doing some construction, it sounds like. What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll talk about the beer release first because that's the part I'm most excited about. We're just releasing this beer, this Fuzzy Pucker Peach Sour, which has been a favorite on tap. I'll talk about the tap room briefly, but if we could, I'd like to have Chris talk about what the beer is and the flavor profile a little bit, and then I can talk about the tap room expansion.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. That
sure,
would be
Rob.
great.
We put this beer out last few years, actually last 3 years, just in draft. And what we did is a draft only beer that would come out. Nice peach flavor. Last couple of years, we did it with fresh Utah peaches and soured them. Actually, the original form of this beer was we took soured peaches and put beer on them. So the beer wasn't sour, the fruit was. Now, this is a fruited or a soured beer that we put peaches into on this one for the cannings. But we just always wanted it. It's a nice, really sour flavor, but also has a couple different sours because you can get lactic sour and also acetic sour. And we combine those two, so it's not all that really puckery, kind of feeling to it. But you still get some of that, but you get that acetic too, which will gives you just a different level and a more depth to that sour. And the peach, great peach nose and flavor to it. So it really comes off really well. It drinks really easy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
A
And
little
so
too
a little
easy.
bit more of a tanginess to it, would you say, than outright sourness?
Oh, it's sour. I'm just
Oh,
saying a lot of sours. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but a lot of sours are mainly lactic instead of a lactic and acetic, and I like the depth of both of them to
okay.
bring it out. So it's sour, but it's not just the lactic; it has the acetic as well.
Ah, that's awesome. And so, yeah, today, March 11th, is available at the tap room and in 16
Yes.
ounce cans.
Yeah.
Non draft, is that, or is it just in cans?
Not draft until next week.
Okay.
Yeah, 16-ounce cans or 4 packs. Buy the case.
By the
Limited
Okay.
release
truckload.
pallet size. If you want a pallet, you'll have to call ahead.
For
Yeah.
sure. Well, that's just that's an exciting one, and I haven't made it down to the tap room to pick it up yet, but I am drinking one of
Oh,
yours. It's a re-release, so it was new last year, but a new batch is Transom Dark Pale Ale. But I just like this beer so much. It's nice and there's a little bit of pine to it, but also it's just really easy drinking.
Yeah, we put an old school hop in that Galena, and I really like it, and people go crazy over that stuff. So
Yeah. Oh, Galita, the hop on there.
yeah, Galena is the hop on the,
Yeah.
at least the predominant hop. There's a quite a few hops in there, but that's the predominant hop on the nose. So
Yeah.
really piney and estery and kind of that I don't know, oily resiny kind of flavor.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, we both got beers now, so that's great. What let's talk about what's going on in the tap room for people who are going to come visit you. Maybe some people haven't visited you in a year and
Yeah, that's right.
at least not gone inside. So
Yeah.
what are people going to be able to expect next time they come visit?
Well, if they come today or in the next several weeks, it'll look like a construction site because it is.
Yeah.
But we had the opportunity to take a look at the space right next door to us because the building wasn't occupied, so we're going to end up taking over the whole building. Actually, will be ours. So we're doing a little bit of construction to remove some walls and reconfigure some things. And really, because of this pandemic and the need for more spacing and also just more space, we looked at that and said, man, we could have an opportunity to really add some drinking space and get more people in here in a safe way and keep our employees safe and everybody safe during this time. So it sort of just fell into our laps as an opportunity to proceed with this. And so we're taking out walls and demolishing walls and putting in flooring and paint and doing all the stuff to make it a nice big drinking space. So
That's awesome. And wasn't it right before the pandemic that you did some more remodeling where you kind of reconfigured the tap room a little bit? And so
yeah,
you guys have been busy.
yeah, it was last February. We spent a day and kind of moved our package store around and added a couple of little tables and things like that. And we just sort of gained some traction and more people fitting in the tap room. You know, we can only fit maybe 6 or 8 more people, something like that. Right, and then things came crashing down in the middle of March last year, so that space sort of never really got utilized. So it'll be nice just to expand and have the space we wanted from the start. So.
Right. Yeah, and I don't like to harp too much on the last year, like all the bad stuff that happened, but I was just impressed with the resilience of the breweries. I mean, you guys kept it going and kept drinking out the beers, making it safe for everybody, building a patio so that people could enjoy their beers outside, really doing an innovative curbside to go type thing. So maybe
We
each
tried
of
to
you
do as
could
much
just,
as we could, Tim, but really the resilience is the beer drinkers of the craft community around here, because
yeah,
they were set to come to our place and come to other breweries as well, but actually go to the breweries to get the beer so that the breweries could get the most of it and make sure those breweries stayed in business. And I was really surprised and really touched by how many people were getting out and trying to visit their local breweries more than they ever had.
Yeah, the local outpouring of support was pretty amazing. The people that would show up week after week to buy beer directly from us and check in on us, make sure everything was going okay. Things got a little crazy when everything first came crashing down. I remember, just Chris in the brewery trying to scramble and look at draft demand versus can demand and all that changing all of a sudden. And so it was a little tumultuous for a bit, but really the community came out to support local breweries like us and every other brewery in town too. So it was pretty cool to see.
it was good to see everybody rally around that. And right before everything went sideways, you guys were about to celebrate your 3-year anniversary, and so now we're coming up on 4-year anniversary for Roja Brewing Project. What's the last 4 years been like for you guys, and what are you looking forward to for the next 4, 8, 12 years?
Well, luckily, when we started this brewery, we had a pandemic plan in place.
Oh, okay.
Um, You know,
We
it
missed
has
that
been very
section in the
interesting. I
business
mean,
plan.
it puts a strain on all your plans, and you have to, I think, really know when to scrap your plans and start anew and do something else. But I think we situated ourselves through the pandemic to really jump out of this pandemic and take over some of the beer market and really make more of an impact on the shelves. Up.
Yeah, well, you guys were pretty well set up with packaged beer, and I'm sure that was a big advantage for you guys
Yeah.
through the last 12
Yeah,
months.
we were lucky there that we were already set up to package, and that our revenue stream was split up pretty well between package and grocery stores, package and liquor stores, and draft beer. And so it wasn't, we lost a leg to our stool, but we didn't lose the stool altogether.
Yeah, it's a great way to look at it. So moving forward, then you've got this Fuzzy Pucker, who's the newest release in the Broha lineup. What are you guys kind of focusing on, or what's maybe a focus for the next few months? With the 16-ounce cans, it sounds like might be making an appearance. Anything else that people should know about what you guys have got going on?
Well, for one, we have the 16-ounce cans right now. It's just in the sour series, because this Fuzzy Pucker is a sour series. So we have two other sours that are going to come out, and they're going to be year round. So we're going to have the Fuzzy Pucker into the Bumpy Pucker, which is a raspberry sour, into a Dimple Pucker, which is a blood orange sour.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a whole sour series that we're going to do. And then obviously wrap back around and then back into the Fuzzy Pucker.
Okay.
So.
And obviously sour beers have been a trend. Is that kind of what you're seeing, or is it something that you just really wanted to brew? What was the philosophy behind doing a sour series?
A little of both. I think it's easier to do a series sometimes, or a seasonal kind of sour, than it is you just do one-offs, because then it's hard to do another one, because then you have two sours in the market. So that's why we went with the seasonals. We could put one out and put another one out, and put another one out, but not have them competing against each other in the market. So I think there's a lot of people that like them, and I think there's not that many to choose from right now. And we were like, I think we've had such great success with the Fuzzy Pucker. Let's see if put it on the shelves and let's can it. So, and then we just looked at different things to make it stand out and be different, and that's why we went with 16-ounce cans. Yeah. And I think that'd be good. I don't know if we'll come out with other beers in 16-ounce cans, but it's gone well with this. So.
Yeah. Well, and
the
can just looks awesome. Maybe you can hold that up again. Did Rob have the can, or you had the can? That's
back
a
little.
good looking label.
Got too much shadow.
Back slowly. Hey Rob, back slowly.
Oh.
Yeah. Now it just washed out. Sorry.
I know that.
That's right.
It's like the light from the window is too much down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool looking can. We're pretty excited, for me anyway, to be in the 16-ounce. We've seen a lot of other breweries do 16-ounce cans. Never really saw any advantage one way or another. But for us, it was a way to maybe differentiate another brand and get it on the shelf where people would see it and buy it. And again, like Chris said, we wanted to do a sour. To me, when I'm out there in the market, I see there's only two beers on the shelf. There's IPAs and then there's another beer. And so I think it's fun to have, we have a great session IPA on the grocery store shelves, but we also like to be known as somebody who can put out other beers too that are delicious and sell well and people enjoy. So this is another way to do that.
Yeah. You guys have been putting out a lot of good beers. I mean, and not just IPAs, like you said. You've done porters. You've done this dark pale ale is really good that I like. You've done that Maltese Cross is pretty close to an OG Roja beer. Red ale.
Yeah.
You've kind of worked the gamut of beer styles, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's important too. I mean, it seems like the consumer today is looking for a new beer every time they shop for beer. And so I think other than just IPAs or pale ales, having a wide breadth of beer offerings is important out there.
Definitely.
Yeah, we got a experimental beer out right now, our barrel aged Nights Out. I mean, the Nights Out comes in at like almost 9%, and this is we put it on Beehive or Destillation Distilling whiskey barrels, and this is a trial run because we're going to come out with cans later this year of it, and it tastes delicious.
And
I mean,
is this your first
at
barrel?
9%, it packs a punch. So.
Is this your first barrel aged beer?
Probably. I think officially, yeah. We've done some for draft last year and done some small run stuff, but this is the first time we've done a bigger run of it.
Yeah, I had a note about that one too, because that one, it's not just a typical stout, right? It's got a Belgian yeast or something in there.
Yeah, we wanted to do something different, so it has a Belgian yeast and some Belgian candy to really make it more interesting in the end, in the finish, the malt character to it, and so it has a little bit of spice to it. Doesn't come through all that much, but we just a hint, and that's what we wanted to do it. So, yeah, and it's nice and dry. I mean, it dries out for a stout, so it's really easy drinking. It drinks more like a foreign stout, which is, a really big dry stout. It's just really dry, really chocolatey, yeah, and high alcohol.
Yeah.
You can't drink too many. I want to, and every time I open the second one, I regret it.
Well, there's some things in life we have to just regret.
Yep.
And go for it.
I keep doing it over and over again.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything else before we go that you wanted to touch on about what you've got going on?
I guess I'm just looking through my notes. I think the last big thing coming out of Roja right now is we're actually going to launch a seltzer line this spring as well. So we've sort of rebranded as Gemini Seltzer, Roja's evil twin to the small craft brewer. But we're going to launch what we're calling a twin pack. It'll have 2 seltzers in it. It'll have black cherry seltzer and then a white grapefruit seltzer as well. So we're working through that process right now and have been doing some test batches that are if you're a seltzer drinker, they're delicious, and I think it'll be fun to experiment in that world too. So stay tuned for that.
That's awesome. And you said that's coming up in the next when?
It should be this spring. I had a more definitive date, but I'm working with the DABC now, so you can't pin anything down exactly.
Okay.
So
Not a day, not a month, not a year. Just in the future with them.
Do they classify seltzer as beer, or is it something else?
you'd have to ask them. I'm not sure they know right now.
Yeah,
Because it's not going to be above 5%, I wouldn't think, is it?
you can
Nope.
ask them, but you wouldn't get an answer because that is the discussion that's going on right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the major holdup is how to classify this. But yeah, it'll come in at 5%.
Okay. All right. Well, enjoy those conversations. I'm sure
Yeah,
you
right.
have.
Yeah.
And thank you, Rob and Chris, for taking time to jump on with Utah Beer News, kind of a virtual tap room. I'll go ahead and finish my transom, and
Yeah, I'll
you
do
can
the same.
sell some
Cheers.
fuzzy pucker.
I look
Be sure and
forward to
stop by.
having you in and doing a proper interview with some proper beers and some cheers, some toasting when this is over.
Hopefully, it's just around the corner.
I think so.
A lot of shots are being given. So, oh,
Can you see
Right.
that? There's a
Freshly vaccinated.
freshly vaccinated just for this interview.
oh, thank you. Keeping it safe. I appreciate that. So thank you. I'm just going to wrap this up, but hang on for just 1 second if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Be sure to, I want to put one more plug. Be sure to sign up for Roja's email their e-newsletter. They put out a great newsletter, a lot of good stuff. The blog is fantastic as well. So stay up to date on all of their news and happenings. And if there are any other brewers or breweries, everyday imbibers, anybody interested in participating in an upcoming episode of this little 15-minute video, I'm going to get this turned around quick, put on YouTube and Facebook to help out, spread the word about Utah beer. Let me know. Thanks again, Rob and Chris, for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.